what's up? Hello again. This is the Daily Dean. Still don't have a great intro down, so we're just trying out new stuff. Now, I want to talk about psychology. Last time was astronomy, so now we're switching over gears to psychology. Specifically, defense mechanisms. What are they? It's just like it was first created as a part of the psychodynamic approach to psychology. You may know about the psychodynamic approach from Sigmund Freud, who was the inventor of this field, and his daughter Anna Freud, genius, she theorized these defense mechanisms that still have some validity today. So you don't really need to know a lot about the psychodynamic approach, other than unconscious forces power your conscious behavior, right? So things that you aren't aware of happen below the surface, and that becomes who you are, your personality, and things you act. So the basis out of the way, let's talk defense mechanisms. What are they? Well, defense mechanisms are they're sometimes ways of coping, right? Ways of keeping your unconscious behaviors, your unconscious thoughts and stuff unconscious, so that they don't interfere with your conscious mind and make you go crazy or whatever you want to call it. And one of the most basic types of defense mechanisms is denial. What's denial? It's pushing things down from the conscious into the unconscious so that it doesn't harm you. It would be like hearing your spouse or significant other is diagnosed with cancer, so you just refuse to believe it. You just say, that's not true. My wife, husband, non-binary spouse can't have cancer. That's impossible, right? Or maybe more broadly, more generally, you got a B on a test, or C or less than satisfactory grade on a test, right? And you're like, that's impossible. It must have been something that had to do with the test, right? And just like that general idea, you're denying something's existence so it doesn't cause harm to you. Now let's talk about the next one. This one's a little more interesting. Displacement. Displacement is moving things from one threatening standpoint to another. Okay, so give an example. Imagine you just got yelled at by your boss for a poor job. They were saying how could you be so stupid and ignorant and whatnot? And then you internalize that. You think, man, that makes me feel kind of bad. And then your unconscious mind puts that back out as emotions and actions onto other people who are lower than you, who you are comfortable with projecting those emotions onto. So you can't directly tell your boss, hey, you're making me feel bad. So instead, you turn those emotions of feeling bad into yelling at your spouse or your children or your dog, who you can yell at because there's no repercussions of doing it, as opposed to immediately in your unconscious mind, as opposed to yelling at your boss. That is a big one that I actually just wanted to talk about straight away, because it kind of tells you, hey, not everything is really personally against you, right? Not everybody is going to be seeking out to make you feel bad. Maybe your boss just had a bad day with their boss. So you don't know what things they're displacing or things they're experiencing. And that's a big point I want to bring up. You don't know anybody else but yourself. You don't know the day they've been having, the experiences they've been going through, or the thoughts going on in their head. So somebody cuts you off when you're driving. Somebody, doesn't hold the door open for you. Somebody gives you a weird, side stare, and you just generally feel like, hey, that was kind of rude. Why didn't you hold the door open for me? Why are you looking at me like that, etc.? Maybe they're just having something tough, right? And if they say something mean back, try and let that stuff roll off your back, okay? As in, if they have nothing good to share with the world right now, they have nothing to make you feel good, you shouldn't try and contribute to this some negativity, and you should try making it positive. What does that really mean? Somebody tells you, hey, watch where you're going, fat. that would have been a curse word. You say, I will, thank you. And maybe that's a little microaggressive, but it kind of shifts the tone away from, cursing back at them and instead going towards, why are you, going towards, like, creating a net positive. That's the word I was looking for. Net positive. So, basic summary. You don't really know what's going on in another person's life or day or etc. What can you do to fix that? Try and change the cycle, right? A positive feedback loop happens when one person is mean to another person and they feel like displacing that onto another person who feels like displacing that onto another person or object. And eventually you have this cycle of hate and negativity that you might have the power of breaking. So instead of continuing that cycle and accidentally sublimating or displacing those emotions onto other people, take a deep breath with me. And let it go. Those little tiny gestures can make all the difference. Thank you.